Someone is a skeleton that drank too much again. It's carrying a crumpled handbill, advertising good intentions. Sitting in a darkened room, forgetting things that I want to say to you. Things that you remind me to say when it's too late to say anything. Like I always do. I swear I'll make it up to you and I'll bring you flowers and monsters.
Hello! Tonight's episode of Cocktales with Tiki King is brought to you by Do Good Distilleries, makers of Tiki Gin. Tiki Gin is only one of the many fine spirits that Do Good Distilleries produces. Whether you need rum, bourbon, or gin, remember, Do Good Distilleries makes it local and loco. That's right, folks, Do Good Distilleries, where their motto is, we may be sorry we gave Tiki King booze. Hello and welcome to episode 16. 16 weeks we've been coming to you with the same nonsense, and you keep turning in. You keep turning into people who tune in and turn on and drop out, I hope. But here we are once again, just like every week. You're here and I'm here, and we're here together, apart separately, at the same time, here, now. And so what are we doing? Well, once again, so this fine bottle here. This is one of many fine bottles that the Wicked Tinkers chugged down in our drunken stupor over the weekend. So we'll give you a little bit of backstory. I don't know if I usually do backstory. Should I do backstory? We'll do some backstory. So most of you, I think, know I'm in a band called the Wicked Tinkers. We play Scottish music and Irish music and other music. And so we do festivals, and we did one this weekend up in Sonora. It was a lot of fun. But our friend Tony, when we got there, presented us with some very, very fine bottles, and we had a good time drinking those bottles. And we took those proud bottles down, and I'll tell you, we were pleased with the results. And I said, if I happen to have someone say, gift me a bottle of that sort of thing, I might be able to use it on my show. And he said, hey, I just happen to have the thing for you. So he handed me this bottle right here. Tiki Gin from Do Good Distilleries. I'll be honest, I didn't know who they were, other than I'd had their stuff before but didn't know it. But like I said, we tried it, we tested, we were pleased with the results. So I started thinking, this is a funny thing, because I started thinking, so gin, what am I going to do with gin? Because, I make martinis, I make gimlets, the seafoam gimlet last week. But the gin's one of those things that excellent for cocktails, for many kinds of cocktails. But it's even more important in my lexicon. What's the one where it's in my idiom? It goes back. Gin as a tiki cocktail goes back to part of the beginning of this madness that I've called my life over the past 20 years, some odd years. 30, 20 years. So last week we talked about a lot of different tiki bars that I had been to, and the different places that I'd gone to. And I talked about Trader Sam's. Trader Sam's in not Disneyland, but Trader Sam's. I've been to one of these, but Trader Sam's in San Francisco, where you can blow shit up, light things on fire, listen to Tony Bennett on the jukebox, all kinds of destructive nonsense. But the first time I went there, the first drink I had, which was the first tiki drink of Tiki King in a tiki bar, was a Singapore Sling. And now the reason I ordered a Singapore Sling is because that was the only one I really knew of. I mean, there's, pina coladas and all that sort of thing that they were kind of just, drinks, whatever, but tiki bar drinks. The Singapore Sling had kind of I knew it for some reason. It was in my head. It was in there like a like a worm with claws who won't come out, and you give him bologna and he still won't come out. But so Singapore sling. I remember the funny things. Come with me as I remember. No, not time travel, just memory. So I remember the first time I saw that Singapore sling, I didn't know what a sling was. I was not versed in the cocktail lexicon. And I assumed they meant that was like, you came in, you're like, oh, my arm's broken. Oh, God, they said, give him a Singapore sling. So I figured that was like, a painkiller. It's like, you got something, my head that's coming off at the notch where the sword hit me. Hit Singapore sling, it'll keep that thing right on there. So Singapore sling, I misunderstood it, but I'll tell you the same results. We might have broken things in Trader Sam's many a night, but the Singapore sling set us right. I'll tell you. I liked it so much, I learned to make it at home, and that was one of my early fancy cocktail parties, was making Singapore slings to a drunken audience. So who knows, maybe they were very good. But I'm guessing you've already figured out that's what we're going to do here tonight. We're going to make some Singapore slings, and I'm going to drink all of them, and you guys get to just admire them from a distance, because I'm like that. So a Singapore sling, what is it? What is it? I just happen to know because it's on my notes, which you probably can't read from there, especially if I'm moving. So, you can go, see, I can never decide if I should just make a drink and start drinking and then talk about stuff. You think, producer Maggie's giving me the nod. Yes, I think probably if you get drunk, we'd all be a whole lot happier. So, okay, well then we'll make one and then we'll talk about it. We'll do that. I'll do that, and you'll do that from a distance, which is good, because I'm sure your choke chains, if you pull on them, like that. So what is a Singapore sling? Singapore slings, there's a lot of recipes, just like any cocktail. Everybody's got their own, but it does have provenance. It actually does go back to Singapore. Let's see here. Raffles Hotel in Singapore claims to have made the first Singapore slings, but the Singapore sling as a concept goes back to somewhere like 1915. Goes back their ways. Like I said, the sling itself is a drink. You have gin slings, you can have rum slings, you can have, tire slings. The idea of the sling goes back a long ways, and it's basically just gin and sugar and citrus and shake it and straining and stuff. Don't strain too hard though, because you don't want to hurt anything. I wonder if I might not brought my strainer. This could get interesting. So I have two versions, and we'll talk about them after I make them, but I'm going to make the second version, which is on page 2, for those of you reading along at home. Bing! Please change to page 2 now. Bing! So, what is in it? Well, fine, do-good distilleries, tiki gin. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about this later, you miscreants. We're going to put, I'm going with it. It says an ounce, but I don't think that's enough. That's because I'm like that. I'm going to go big and small, because that happens sometimes. So we'll roll some gin. Good stuff. So if I figure, so I'm not product placementing or anything, but if a lot of this sort of booze were to show up at my bar, I would probably hawk it shamelessly in exchange for lots more booze. It's good. It's a symbiotic relationship, not unlike pinworms. So okay, so we have our gin in there. Next, we're going with some kashwasa, cherry brandy. Now, here's the difference, though. Here's the difference. You can get cherry brandy, and you can put it in your drink, and that's fine. And I'm not gonna like send you a mean letter. But cherry brandy, you're probably looking at, 40 proof. Not for us. We're professionals. So I'm going with kashwasa, with the Kuiper Kirschwasser, because 90 proof. You can't laugh at you. Well, you can laugh at, but I'm going to put half an ounce of that in there. Maybe spill just a tiny bit. Okay, so we got gin in there. We got our kashwasa. Now here's where it gets complicated, and we'll talk about it later. But Secret. When you're making Singapore slings and you want the people who make them next door to come over and try yours and say, what's the deal? Why are they so good? Benedictine. And I'll tell you, this recipe is on my website, tikiking.com. Go to the cocktail section. You can find it there. But this is secret ingredient. Benedictine. So we're going to put a quarter an ounce of that in there. This gives it that, well, I don't know, French call it je ne sais quoi. Got a quarter ounce of that. And then we got another one. This isn't so secret, but most people wouldn't know what to do there. We're going with a tiny bottle, of Cointreau. We're going to go a quarter ounce of Cointreau. I bought a tiny bottle because it makes me feel bigger. I feel like a giant. Cointreau. You know, if you need to feel like a giant, airliners, way to go. So, okay, so we got our gin, we got our Kirschwasser, we got our Benedictine, we got our brandy, and we're gonna go with some grenadine. Those of you who don't know what grenadine is, it's this stuff in this bottle. If you see this bottle in your bar, you know what that is. So, grenadine, I'll tell you, I'll let you in on something that's not a secret at all. So grenadine is basically a pomegranate syrup. Most grenadines that you get, including what I bought, which is roses, is probably not got actual pomegranate in it, but it tastes like grenadine. If you can find an old bottle, if you can find an old bottle, if you can find an old bottle of trad'r Vicks grenadine that still has the naked woman on it, I probably wouldn't use it, but you can stare at it while you make drinks, and that's always nice. The old one, then they changed to, she had this top, and it's weird because there's like naked native woman, and then they changed her to a top and made her boobs bigger. I don't know what that's about. Okay, so we got our grenadine, Benedictine, Cointreau. Here we go. Next ingredient, what could it be? Pineapple juice. You're right. That's amazing. You guys, you're learning. It only took 16 episodes, but you're learning. Like genetically modified apes that will 10 bar for me someday. So we're gonna put in 4 ounces of pineapple juice. There we go. That's in there. Nice. Happy day. We're going to put half of a lime juice. No, we're going to put all of the juice from the lime, but only half. We're going to only use half of a lime. So half of a lime juice, but all of that. Alrighty, got it. And then bitters. They're bitter. Don't use too much. Put in a dash. A dash is a little more than a shake, according to the International Measures book. Am I talking too much about the drink while I'm making it? Okay. So that's all in there now. Now we can shake it. I don't have a song for this one. I just figured you want a little froth. It's kind of like when you go rabid. It's not as good without a little froth. Now you can serve this drink, this fine beverage, in a Collins glass, in a highball glass. You kind of do what you want. There's not a lot of rules. But tonight, I'm going right there with a straw. I'm going here with a hurricane glass. You know, I don't have my strainer, so I'm just going to crack it. Look at that. I'm going to garnish that with a orange. Oh, geez. I forgot. I'll be right back. You guys stay there. You stay there. I'll come back. I'm not going anywhere far away. I'll be back. It's the garnish. The garnish that gets me. Oh, the garnish gets me. It's in there. I like the garnish because, you know, garnish. before I suck this whole thing down and make it, yeah, go ahead. Producer Maggie's gonna have the first sip so that if it's terrible, I can make a different one that's better. Is it good? Well, I'm gonna find out. I'm gonna find out for myself right here, right now. That was good. I don't know why I'm surprised. Every time I'm like, hey, I made a drink and it's good. How could this be? I don't know. I'm always, maybe it's just a general joyousness of a drink. Well, a drink. What is it? Lincoln said a drink well made is like a made well drunk. He might not have. I think that was actually Gary Trudeau. Strangely enough. So I don't know. I'm spelling nonsense. That happens. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. I'll be back when I can. So anyway, so I said I'd talk more about the Singapore Sling, and I will now. Okay, so on my website, tikiking.com, there's a section called Cocktail Database, where you can go and find out what you're drinking if you don't already know. No, there's hundreds and hundreds of recipes on there. It's being updated all the time. If I find a recipe that I like, I'll put it on there. If I find one I don't like, it's probably on there already. So if you go there it is. The Cocktail Tiki King's Virtual Bartender. That's what it's called. And you can go on there and learn how to make drinks, not like a pro so much, but like I do. And there's secret bar tips and stuff. And it's all kinds of fun. You should check it out and bring your friend. Well, have your friends bring booze and then go on to the database and make some drinks and report back. Like you do like, we can have a scoring system where there's like bottles or martini glasses. Or then if they're like but then like, when you cross off, you have 4 marks and you cross it like a 5. If you have like 15 drinks, you can cross that one off and there's just a toilet. So, Singapore Sling. I have to test this again. That's good. I got to tell you. So I'm going to digress, as I am wont to do, because it's my show, and I'm allowed to digress from time to time. I have depreciated in the past. We depreciated up to 1/2, I think, when CJ was here with us, and then but we did it twice, so we weren't sure if it doubled or if it went into negatives because it was half, but twice, which could have been a quarter. No one really knew, and we got no answer. But so once again, Do Good Distilleries Tiki Gin. It's good. If you guys are watching, that's all I have to say. I have a lot more to say. I'm going to keep saying it. So here's the thing. This gin, this is a fantastic thing. When I heard about this, I was actually very excited. So for those of you who don't know what gin is, sometimes people think gin is like this weird, it's almost like a chuck right on a bottle on the top. People think that gin is this weird, mysterious drink. Oh, gin, So what gin is a grain neutral spirit. It's like Everclear. It's just alcohol made from grain. And what they do is they take this alcohol made from grain and they steep stuff in it. They put stuff. Juniper berries is the main thing. That's when you're drinking gin and you smell like that smells like your backyard. Like the tree you hid in when you were a kid because you broke your mom's favorite cup and you didn't want her to know, but there's spiders in that tree. And it was kind of got weird. But so the juniper bushes that you smelled and you remembered as a kid when you were drinking martinis later, that's the main ingredient in gin. So juniper berries, you got anise, you got all sorts of different stuff that they put into this neutral grain spirit, in this alcohol, and they get all those flavors kind of get sucked into it. And then they water it down to a specific alcohol by volume, ABV, for those of you who already know. And that's what gin is. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. Not this one. It's weird because I'm backwards, but So this one, the reason I got so excited about this one was because Tony makes really good coffee. I'm still shaking. No, the reason I got so excited is that this particular gin, rather than being made from a neutral grain spirit, such as, barley or corn or rice or who knows what, they make it from they make it from my belches, from Tiki King, belching your way to drunkenness. No, they make it from rum. That's right. That's white. That's right. White. Right. That's right. That's right. White rum. Instead of a neutral grain spirit, they're actually using sugarcane spirit, which is rum. And they use that as their base. They're putting in all the botanicals, the spider tree and all that stuff goes in there. It says on the back, let me see. It says it's not my grandma's gin, which is good because she didn't drink gin. And if I had my grandma's gin, it would probably be vodka. So it's got spices, it's got the essential gin botanicals. From there, we searched the world over for unique island spices to pair with the California citrus, making a gin like no other. And that's the thing, tiki here, so we're coming around. It's going to make sense in a way. So I thought, here we go, Tiki King, Tiki Bar, Tiki Drink, Singapore Sling, Trader Sam's, it all comes around, but, wait, gin? Yes, because it's made from rum. Rum being the quintessential Tiki drink ingredient. You can now have your gin and have it be rum. How's that for a paradox from which you may not escape? You tell me. I'm going to let the booze tell me where to go. Ooh. I don't see, that's good. That is this is a fine thing. And if you continue to make sure that I get your booze, I'll talk about it. And if you don't, I'll talk about something else. That's the thing. I'm supposed to, I know you're not my sponsors, but you will be, and you need to know where to send the check, so tikiking.com. Look at my contacts. For those of you who want to make a fine cocktail and you're conflicted because your friends say, don't drink gin, it will make you get into fights. And you go, yeah, but I want to get into fights drunk on rum. Now you can have both. Think about that. Do Good Distilleries. www.dogooddistillery.com. Check it out. They got I'm assuming they have their stuff. This is from, and this is nice. This is from batch number 1, the first batch. So I suppose we can all vote. Well, I'm saying it's good. I got no complaints. You guys, if you're out there watching my show right now, I know you have complaints, but I don't. Good stuff. Good job, man. You guys, that's a good thing. Rum that's gin, Singapore slings that are made. It's madness. It's all gone around and around, and I'm okay with that because it's good. So, there's something. We're supposed to talk about something. So on my website, there's a couple different recipes for the Singapore sling. There's actually a boatload. If you just like go out to bartending sites and get bar back books, which doesn't rhyme, you can go, you can look. This was going somewhere. So Singapore sling, there's a ton of different recipes, but I have on my website, there's 2 different versions. Today we use the version 2. If you just go into a bar and you say, hey, I heard you make a mean Singapore sling, and it's just because the bartender's mean, you're probably not going to get a good one. But if you go to just a place and they have them on the menu, more than likely you're going to get the standard version, recipe number 1, which is juice of half a lemon, teaspoon powdered sugar, 2 ounces dry gin, which is going to be well gin, probably not this fine. Probably not fine. Do Good Distilleries, Tiki Gin, where their motto is, the more booze we send Tiki King, the more he talks about us. So juice of half lemon, powdered sugar, dry gin, cherry brandy, dash of bitters, and here's the thing, you shake that up, put it in a glass, and top it with seltzer. That is a very, very typical Singapore sling, and that is probably close to the drink that I had at Trader Sam's in San Francisco. And I'm not complaining, it was good. Because we were drunk and light things on fire. And call me crazy, you'd be right. So yeah, so if you see a Singapore Sling on the menu, more than likely that's what it's going to be, standard version. So, but if you want to get tricky, you want to mix it up, you want to impress the guests, you want your mid-century house to get the vote so that your picture is in a fancy magazine. You're going to serve recipe number 2, which calls for, well, I did 1.5 ounce gin, but that's because I'm a boozer. Your roll call. We'll get to that at the end. So we use recipe number 2, which is the International Bartenders Association recipe, which is a pretty good one. That's what I'm drinking. It's good. I can say pretty good. I'm going to say good. So we went with, it says 1 ounce gin, but I kind of thought that was a challenge. I thought they were making fun of me. So I went with 1.5 ounces gin, a 1/2 ounce of cherry liqueur, the cherry brandy, the Kirschwasser. Your someone will thank you, probably you in your drunken stupor. So 1/2 ounce of cherry. I'm only on this ingredient number 2. Sometimes I'm not even sure what I'm doing. So 1 ounce gin, a 1/2 ounce of cherry of Kirschwasser, 1/4 ounce Cointreau, 1/4 ounce Benedictine, the secret ingredient. 1/2 ounce grenadine, that's the red stuff. That's what makes it this pinkish color. Without that, it would be clear, which isn't bad. You could actually, because here's, you want to know a secret? If I told you, it wouldn't be a secret, so shut up. 1/2 ounce grenadine, 4 ounces of pineapple juice. You know what that one? Juice. All the juice of 1/2 a lime. Dash of Angostura bitters. Dash. Oh, that's the thing. So did I tell a story about that? I was at a bar in San Francisco years ago, and I ordered a Manhattan or an old fashioned, because we did old fashions. That's right. So I did. So refer to that one. Go to YouTube and pretend that I just told you the story. Well, not. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Dash. What is a dash? A dash is like a drop and then a little bit extra. I guess. I don't know. No one ever told me. I had to learn these things on my own on the streets. It was rough. Making drinks, nickel a pop. I had like one of those, like the Charlie Brown Peanuts cartoons, psychiatric help, 5 cents. Singapore Slings, $1.85. But that was back when you could buy something for $1. I don't even know how much this does. It's probably like $600 bottle of booze that I'm chugging down in my reckless abandon. That was like $100 sip. Yeah, dash of Angostura bitters. Shake it up. Do the shoulder movement. Strain it into a glass that's already filled with ice. Now here's the thing. Someone once asked me. They said, "What's the deal? You got a shaker, right? Full of ice. Where's the shaker full of ice? Oh, there it is. They said, you've got a shaker full of ice. What's the deal with shaking it and then straining it into a glass filled with ice?" Are we even on anymore?
Yes. No.
Oh, I thought people were bored with me already. So some people say, why you? Yeah, there it was. So because here's the deal. A lot of times when you're going into a glass, like this glass, crushed ice, right? 3/4 full crushed ice, shaker, cracked ice. The reason for that, and I think I've told you before, and I'm surprised you don't remember. Cracked ice is for chilling and less dilution. The crushed ice adds volume, and you fill it up, and then the dilution happens while you're drinking it and keeps it ice cold. And if you suck them down as fast as I do, they're going to be lukewarm anyway. So it's all nonsense. That's what that's my story, and I'm going to stick to it. I think maybe. So So last week we said we were going to drink from the skulls of our enemies, and I said if you came out that you could too, and some people did. It was a fine thing. We were out in Sonora, and we drank from the skulls of our enemies, and we offended people, and some people were shocked, and others guzzled with reckless abandon, and they're part of our tribe now. So remember, drink from the skull of your enemy. Go to tikiking.com, tikiking.info. Buy some fine, do good distilleries booze. Remember, when you need hooch, getting drunk Wait, that makes no sense. Yeah, I'm going to start over. That's right. Wait, skulls, notes, websites, do-good distilleries. For people who need booze in their gullets, nothing goes down smoother than booze. Anyway, I told you guys might be sorry you gave me anything. And I'm going to, oh, Boozeketeer roll call. That's right. Who's out there? Boozeketeers, count off. No one. Well, just like most mornings, I'm talking to myself through a bullhorn, and the neighbors are complaining. So, oh, wait, there goes something. Oh, hi. Some little things were floating by. I'm assuming it was part of the show. I don't know. There we go. Episode 16 in the can. This was Cocktales with Tiki King, and I'm Tiki King, and this was Booze, and this is Singapore Slings, and I gotta say, when you want to drink them, there's nothing like them for what you want. I hope you all had a good time, and I hope you learned something. Because if not, you should probably watch snippets with Time for Timer and Hank Your Frog. Jeez. Or make some popsicles. I don't know. Thanks everybody for coming to the show. You probably didn't go anywhere. You just looked at your phone. There we go. Thanks. Go to my website. Go to tikiking.info. That's a fun thing. Go to tikiking.com. Look around there. Go to the cocktail database. Make some of those drinks and report back. I want to say thank you to all you guys. Thank you, Producer Maggie. Thank you to Julie at home watching. Hopefully, she's probably not. Thank you to Turk and to Aaron and all the Boozeketeers. CJ, are you out there? I hope so. I'd miss you if you weren't. Which means I miss you right now. You goddamn bastard. Go away now. Because I'm